Hello to all water lovers from Australia to the United States. First, I would like to say a big thank you to Jenny for inviting me to speak at this North American conference organized by 321 Freedive. I already felt seen when she approached me, and now as I speak to you about the sport I love the most, which is freediving, I feel heard. I see this as the perfect opportunity to share some thoughts and ideas and hopefully spark a meaningful conversation about a few hot topics our beautiful sport is facing today. Why do we freedive? What's happening in our sport right now? And how do we want freediving to evolve in the future? Let's dive in. Even though I come from a small, landlocked country in Eastern Europe, Slovakia, I've spent my entire life in and around water. First as a competitive swimmer, later as a lifeguard and instructor, and eventually a diver. When freediving entered my world in 2009, I felt like coming home. It ticked every box. And because of my background, I became very good very quickly. Maybe too quickly. Following the black line from up close was second nature. Burning muscles and burning lungs meant that I was working hard. I literally would have gone through solid walls to achieve my goals. Less than a month into my freediving journey, I was already doing 100-meter dives in the pool. In 2009, my boyfriend, and now my husband, organized the very first pool freediving competition in Australia so that I could set national records. But due to misfortune and inexperience, I didn't set any. Back then, I saw it as a failure. Now, I see it as a lesson. During that competition, I experienced my first and only blackout to date. And it really shook me. It took me quite a while to mentally process it. And it made me reconsider my why. Why do I freedive? And what do I really want to achieve from this sport? And by the way, I didn't set any records in that first competition, but instead I got engaged right there at the pool. I often joke that he took advantage of the fact that I just had my first blackout and I wasn't thinking straight, so I said yes. Anyway, a year later, I stood at the crossroads many women face. Do I become a mom, or do I dedicate myself to the sport I love at the highest level? I felt in my bones that perhaps I could be the best in the world. But instead, I chose motherhood. I became a mom of 3 under the age of 2. A daughter, and then my twin boys. I still can't believe it happened to me, and it happened so fast. Maybe some of you can relate to this feeling, when a passion for the sport pulls you one way, and life calls you another. While many moms were battling postnatal depression, I was breathing my way through it. Freediving had already given me the tools, and I used them every single day. What a gift. That's when I became obsessed with DNF, dynamic no fins. I practiced pranayama on land and escaped as often as I could into the pool, where I could simply be myself, supported by water. Short laps, endless repetitions, working on my technique, consciously and mindfully, learning to feel the water rather than fight it. My body had been through so much, and rebuilding mobility and strength became my anchor. My way back to myself stronger than ever. When my twin boys turned 1, I started a little mermaiding business, hoping to teach the kids to have fun underwater. But in a country obsessed with competitive swimming, it didn't take off. So I focused back on freediving. In 2017, I became an instructor and later an AIDA judge. I also began coaching. My coaching approach is simple: self-awareness and calm first, technique second, and numbers last. Enjoy the movement, let go of expectations, equalize at the tag. I help athletes trust their inner voice and build feel for the water. Also build their strength and their mobility. When they do all of this and focus on that, the numbers take care of themselves. After almost a decade, I emerged from mama mode, ready to compete. But something fundamental had changed. I no longer needed to prove anything, and I didn't want to go through the wall anymore. Now I wanted to compete because I loved the training, and because I wanted to see if I can experience the most beautiful, effortless, and technically perfect dive in competition. That question still drives me today. But what do we see in freediving today? Blackouts, lung squeezes, decompression sickness. These are becoming normalized. Freedivers are chasing depths and distances beyond their current capabilities. Technique suffers because many athletes don't know how to train properly, and it's not even their fault. How many freedivers can afford a professional coach? And how many can train full-time without worrying about income, family, or financial stability? The reality is that freediving is still a young sport, mostly for passionate amateurs, with a few exceptions. But the stakes are high. If we want freediving to grow and to be respected by the wider world, we need to denormalize these dangerous, life-threatening situations. Recently, one of my DNF videos, titled "Death of an Ego," went viral.
I hear the beat, it's in my chest, got me feeling some kind of way. I confess the rhythm takes over, no room to rest. My heart's dancing, it's a love conquest. Oh, the melody, it's smooth and sweet, like honey dripping from a golden bee. It's the soundtrack to my soul's heat, making me move from my head to my feet. My heartbeat, yeah, it's pumping so loud. It's the rhythm of love, baby, that I found when the music plays. I just can't help but sway. Nothing else matters, it's my heart that obeys.
Ironically, it isn't my longest or most technically perfect dive, but it's an honest one. More than 2.5 million people watched it across my platforms in just a few weeks. They connected not with the numbers, but with the beauty of the movement, the calm and the grace. So let's ask ourselves, how do we want the world to see freediving? As something beautiful, graceful, and worthy of admiration, or as something brutal, where freedivers come up spewing blood, unconscious, eyes rolled back, or in the pool looking like they're simply fighting themselves and the water just to perform? The choice is ours. We are at the crossroads. And those crossroads exist in every sport, where performance meets well-being, and we decide which one defines us. Today, I'm on a mission to share freediving as a sustainable sport, one that supports mental health and physical fitness, and is accessible to anyone who feels called to try. I created Underwater Meditation, a free immersive experience for the general public, a gentle breath-holding session in warm water where people are invited to let go of what no longer serves them. And if they want to challenge themselves, as we freedivers do, they can explore that too, in a calm, supportive environment. Not chasing numbers, but feelings of connection and relaxation. These sessions have been a huge success. People live lighter, calmer, and deeply connected. Not just to the water, but to themselves and to each other. Freediving isn't about force. It's about surrender. Right now, I'm organizing and preparing another Guinness World Record attempt. This time, it's about teamwork. Working together toward one shared goal. We will aim to complete over 81 kilometers of dynamic no-fins in 24 hours. We are also raising funds for the Rainbow Club, a charity focused on providing the healing power of water for kids with disabilities. It's been fascinating to collaborate with people who chose what might be the most individualistic sport on the planet. And that's exactly why this matters. It's no longer just about performance. It's about trust, support, and connection. So, if this is how we want to view freediving, we can take a meaningful step forward. Encourage AIDA and CMS to re-evaluate the surface protocol and the doping protocol. Athletes who start and finish clean, calm and composed should be rewarded. And those who regularly push past safety to the edge of consciousness or worse should be penalized. Because what we celebrate, we encourage. And I believe freediving deserves to be celebrated as an art, not as an act of self-destruction. We're all here because we love the water and because we remember, even if faintly, that we come from it. So let's take our passion and listen to what the water teaches us. Soft power, the art of letting go, that weightless space where we are fully supported and completely free. That's our true home, beyond the numbers. Thank you.